Hey, my name is Flash Shelton and I am the Squatter Hunter. So, welcome to my Squatter Talk Tuesdays live. Today, I wanted to talk about a growing trend and a growing concern. Squatters aren't necessarily breaking into homes. Um, they are gaining tenant rights by getting into a home what appears to be legally, but with ill intent. They don't have intent to continue to pay rent, but they are using resources and manipulating homeowners now to gain entrance. And I want to talk about that. And specifically today, I want to talk about short-term rentals and what you can do to help prevent or make it more difficult for a squatter to become your squatter going through an Airbnb or a VRBO or any other form of a short-term rental. Now, every state, they have similar laws, but at the same time, they have different laws. So some states, there's a time frame that they have to stay in, like 30 days. New York, 30 days. It doesn't matter how they enter. If they're able to stay in there for 30 days, they are full-fledged tenants with tenant rights. So you need to check and see, like, when you hear what I talk about, there's no way for me to talk about every state in every video. So when I'm talking about something, please go on and double check for yourself what the time frames are in your state. But I'm going to talk in general. So short-term rentals, that people were making mistakes with renting for 30 days, for example, and then falling for some sort of a sob story about, they need to extend, but they're having problems with a bank transfer or, a health issue or something, and they're getting landlords to extend their stay longer than the period that gives them rights. And then as soon as they get past that period, for example, 30-day mark, then they're like, well, I'll see you in court. I have tenant rights. And they're using that. So I want to talk to you about the different things that you can do to change that. Today, I also want to acknowledge that, some of you are new to my channel. I've had a couple people did, a story about me the past couple days. So there are a lot of new viewers and subscribers that have joined. But, some of you will remember it happened to be living in Canada and didn't know and hadn't heard about her. So she was able to, through VRBO, gain another residence in La Quinta, California. And so I am going to be helping, bring attention to her again and hopefully, get some help from the community and the system to get her out. She buries herself in there. She's been doing this for years and years and years. She's very experienced. She's got a trail from Florida to California. If you don't, VRBO, and it was a 30-day rental, and then at the end of the 30 days, it was like, well, I want to extend, and it was sob stories, and the homeowner felt, she's very convincing. I'll give her that. She is good at what she does. Unfortunately, what she does is hurting a lot of people. So, take your talents and use it in a positive way. I've appealed to this woman. She uses, godly, like in her posts on social media, she talks about God and good and all this stuff, but the life she's living, she is deceitful, dishonest, and there is not a single godly thing about this woman other than possibly who made her. I mean, but anyway, so I just wanted to kind of mention she's at it again. The sinister minister has struck again. I will be doing another video, and that will be the title, actually. So, that's what brought this up. So, I want to thank you guys for joining me. If you're not joining me live and this video will repeat, or if you do want to wait and watch it from the beginning, it will become an actual video and go repeated as a video and not a live stream. So today, I welcome any comments, questions, or anything, and I will do what I can to get to all of those at the end. So anyway, so speaking about time frames, and when law enforcement and the judicial system considers a squatter, a tenant, or a short-term tenant, tenant rights. So that varies. So the time frame that you rent to them matters. So for example, if you're renting from VRBO or Airbnb and you're doing a 30-day rental and that state has their rights starting at 30 days, then maybe you need to shorten that. So I would suggest doing a weekly rental, because then if you do a week and just say, look, I have no problem with renewing it week by week, but you're going to have to pay through the system, through VRBO or through Airbnb. Do not accept payments on your own, because that's another thing that homeowners were making the mistake, extending the stays longer and just accepting the money at a discounted rate themselves. Make their payments go through Airbnb and VRBO. That's one of the things that will help protect you. It's not perfect, but it does help. Lower that 30-day to 1 week. You can absolutely tell them, yeah, I'm good with you being 30 days, but your rent is due weekly. Okay. Just change it up a little bit, because think about this. If your state has a 30-day mark and they pay you 1 week, you have 3 weeks now, basically, to get them out and call them a trespasser before they gain those tenant rights. So, but if you're doing a 30-day, by the time you know that they're going to stop paying, they've already gotten tenant rights. Okay. So, through right now, she, according to everybody else, has tenant rights. Now, he has a letter from VRBO that he shared with me that says, we have reached out to her. We have canceled her reservation. She has not made a payment. Contact your local authorities and report her as a trespasser. Now, depending on where you're at, that might work. Where she's at right now, I don't know if that's going to work. I've suggested that they try to see, if they can get her out as a trespasser first before they actually start eviction, because the problem is once you start eviction, you lose the opportunity to get her out as a squatter or trespasser. Keep that in mind. So you go straight to eviction, you go straight to putting that 3-day notice. You are acknowledging that she is a tenant. So, so again, payment only through the system that she signed up in, whether it's VRBO, Airbnb. I don't know if there's any others out there. Those are the two I've used. And lower it. Don't do a 30-day rental. Do 1 week, 2 weeks at most. But if you do 1 week and have it be a weekly payment, that would be the best case. That would be what I would suggest, because then again, you've got 3 weeks to get them out as a trespasser, instead of them automatically claiming, tenant rights. The other thing is, you've got to understand that this is a business for you. If you are renting a home, you are doing a service for somebody, but it is ultimately a business. You cannot get personal. You cannot think personally. You cannot feel bad for these people. It doesn't matter. They have their problems. You have your problems. Everyone has problems. Everyone has things in their life that they have to deal with. So it is not your job to feel sorry for them and allow them to extend their time without paying rent. If they can't afford rent, it is a red flag. It is not your problem. Think of it like a business. I have so many people reach out to me and they are, they're upset. They're distraught. They're feeling like they're about to lose their home because they fell for a story. They fell for, they had compassion. And I get it. We all want to trust and we all want to believe in people. But unfortunately, if they're using it to take your home from you, you can't trust them. You can't fall for their BS. Okay. But people reach out and they're so distraught, about to lose their home. And I have to remind them that now you are being forced to think of it like a business. But you need to, from day one, from moment one, when you're dealing with these people, do not look at them like human beings. They are a client. You are supplying them a service, a home. It is a business. If you need that money to survive, you need that money to pay the mortgage, then it's a business. Because I guarantee you that if they don't pay you and you don't pay the bank isn't going to care about your story. They are not going to listen to your woes and whatever and give a crap about whatever story you have. That's how you have to be for these people. Okay. So those are the three things that I'm going to say to you that you can help make it more difficult for squatters, make it more difficult for them to take your home and gain tenant rights. One, make them make payments through the system. Do not accept payments at a discounted rate. Make them go through Airbnb, make them go through VRBO, just like they did originally. Do not extend beyond the contract with those services. Two, lower it down to weekly and not monthly so that you avoid the tenant rights. And three, it is a business. Treat it like a business, work it like a business, and you have to emotionally detach yourself from whatever story they have, okay? If you want to feel bad for them and help them in another way, you know what? Let your heart feel good, but don't let it be at the risk of your home. Do not fall for anything that they tell you, because these people, they're pros at this. And you know what? I'm compiling lists of people and I'm exposing and I'm building this registry so that people like you can Google their name and find out about them. The gentleman who just fell for hearing all the stories in the games and the stuff, whatever, after he Googled her name and found me and watched her video. It was too late. So, when this happens, if that happens, share, submit at squatterhunters.com, send their pictures, send their information so we can and you can help me share all the information with everyone else. That's what I have to say today. And I thank you for watching. I've been working nonstop trying to help people and going out and traveling and doing cases that I haven't been able to spend time on doing videos. I've said from day one that I don't do this for clicks. I appreciate the support. I appreciate you guys here, but ultimately I do this to help people and the videos will come. I'm constantly shooting video and the videos will come. But if I'm not posting, it's because I'm actually out there doing the work. I'm actually out there helping someone. So anyway, I've said it so many times. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I will see you next time. This was Flash, your squatter hunter with Outside the Box. Take care now.